My name is Rosella Crowder. I'm 18, and this is for every girl who got labeled practical while her brother got crowned the future. 6 months ago, my mother burned my college applications in the kitchen sink. My father stood next to her, laughing at my SAT score, 1,470, then looked me dead in the eye and said, "Save the money for Trevor. He's going D1. They thought that was the end of it, that they'd just decided my future for me. They were wrong, because I'd already submitted every application online. They didn't know I'd spent the summer at NASA, and they didn't know what my grandma Eleanor sealed in her last letter before she died. By Thanksgiving, 22 people sat around our dining table. Trevor wore his football jersey like he was already famous. My mother poured wine, my father carved the turkey. Every single person in that room acted like they already knew which kid mattered. Then the phone rang. My mother answered it. I watched the color drain from her face. "You mean my son?" That was the second the lie my family had lived on for 17 years finally cracked open. If you've ever felt smaller inside your own house, stay with me. And if this hits home, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. But before I tell you what happened next, you need to understand how we got there. Let me take you back to the night it started. May 15th, 2025, 7:30 p.m. I was upstairs at my desk, refreshing my inbox for the third day straight. When the SAT email loaded, my hands shook. 690 math, 780 verbal, 1,470 total, not perfect, but good. Good enough for MIT, Caltech, Stanford, Princeton. I printed it. The paper was warm when I walked downstairs. Dad was watching football. Trevor was next to him, half watching, half on his phone. I stood in the doorway. I got my SAT score. Dad didn't turn around. How bad? 1,470. He laughed. Not mean, just dismissive. Like I'd told him I got a B on a quiz that didn't count. That's cute, Rosie. Real cute. Trevor looked up for half a second, then back down. Trevor got 1080 and he's going D1, Dad said. Colleges want athletes, leaders, not kids who fill in bubbles. The paper felt heavy. All those weekends, all those nights, erased. We've talked about this, Mom said from the kitchen doorway. The money we saved is for your brother. Camps, recruiting videos, visits. You're smart enough to figure out life without $100,000 we don't have. Need-based aid could... No. Dad cut me off. We're not filling out forms for schools you won't get into. Trevor's the one with the future. You're practical. You'll be fine. Practical girls stay close to home. Practical girls. I'd heard that my whole life. Practical girls don't dream too big. Practical girls make room for their brothers. Dad turned the TV up. Mom went back to the kitchen. Trevor didn't look up. I went upstairs, put the score report in my desk, and opened my laptop. I'd already finished 8 applications. Common App. Essays. I wrote about the telescope I built in 10th grade with babysitting money, about teaching myself Python and tracking local weather patterns, about always looking up and wondering what it takes to build something that goes there. 2 days earlier, May 13th, 9:47 p.m., I'd hit submit on every single one, online, sent. I scrolled through the confirmations. Your application to MIT has been received. Application ID 2025 EA09384. Thank you for applying to Caltech. Stanford University confirms receipt. They could burn every piece of paper in this house. It wouldn't matter. I lay back and stared at the Andromeda poster above my bed. Grandma Eleanor bought it for me in 8th grade. She was the only one who ever asked what I wanted to be without laughing. Aerospace engineer, I'd told her. She'd nodded like it was the most obvious thing in the world. She'd died 2 months earlier. Heart attack. Sudden. At the funeral, Grandpa Dale pressed an envelope into my hand. My name in Grandma's handwriting. Your grandma wanted you to have this, he said. But not yet. She told me I'd know when it's time. I didn't know then that letter would change everything. The next night, Mom walked into my room without knocking. Saw 8 envelopes on my desk. Backups I'd printed weeks ago. MIT, Caltech, Stanford, Princeton, Cornell, Carnegie Mellon, Georgia Tech, Michigan. What is this? College applications. She called Dad. He took one look and said, "Bring them downstairs." In the kitchen, Mom spread them on the counter like evidence. You've been wasting time on this? It's not wasting. We told you Trevor needs this money. You're smart enough to get by without college. Dad picked up Caltech. $70,000 a year. You think we're made of money? We're not doing it. This is final, Rosella. Not everyone gets to go to college. Some people are built for it. Some aren't. You're practical. That's good. Practical girls stay close to home. Mom gathered the envelopes, walked to the sink, turned the faucet on just enough to dampen the basin, dropped them in, pulled out a lighter. Mom. She lit the corner of MIT. The flame caught fast. Orange spread, addresses melted, ink ran like tears before it all turned to ash. The smell was acrid, chemical. It got in my hair, in my clothes. I can still smell it months later. This is for your own good, Mom said, watching them burn. You'll thank us later. Trevor's recruiting video cost us $6,800, Dad added. We're investing in winners, not fantasies. I looked at Trevor. He stared at his plate, jaw clenched. Didn't meet my eyes. The ashes washed down the drain with a hollow gurgle. That night, 11:43 p.m., my phone buzzed. Email. Subject: NASA Marshall Space Flight Center, internship decision. I'd applied in March, during Grandma's calling hours. Sitting in the funeral home, I filled out the application on my phone and didn't tell anyone. I opened it, read it 3 times. Congratulations! You have been selected for our summer internship program at NASA Marshall Space Flight Center, Propulsion Systems Testing Lab, paid position, $8 per hour, 40 hours per week, June 2nd through August 15th. NASA Marshall was in Huntsville, 22 minutes from my house. I hit reply, typed one word. Yes. June 2nd, 6:30 a.m. I borrowed Mrs. Patterson's car. She's 78, doesn't drive. I've mowed her lawn since I was 14. She handed me the keys and said, "Don't crash it, honey, and eat something. You look too skinny." I drove to NASA Marshall, showed my ID at the gate, got badge MS 2025 INT 1138, lab coat, hard hat, reported to Dr. James Whitmore. He looked at me. "You're the youngest intern we've had in 5 years. Don't waste it." That day they fired a test engine. The ground shook. The sound was thunder compressed into one roar. I felt it in my bones. Dr. Whitmore had to shout. Most people talk about going to space. We build the things that get them there. I stood there, goggles fogging, and thought, this is where I belong. For 10 weeks I worked 7 to 4. Test data, computational modeling, design reviews with engineers twice my age. By week 4, Dr. Whitmore gave me my own project, microthruster efficiency. I ran 47 simulations, adjusted nozzle angles by 0.3 degrees, tested fuel mixtures. By week 8, I had a 12% efficiency improvement. This is publishable work, Dr. Whitmore said. Most grad students don't produce results like this. I didn't tell him I was 17, didn't tell him my parents burned my applications, just showed him the data. Every evening I drove home, parked at Mrs. Patterson's, walked in smelling like machine oil. "Where were you?" Dad asked once, week 1. "Library." "Good. Stay out of trouble." He went back to the TV. Trevor had left for his $40,200 quarterback camp in Florida. When he came back, we had a welcome home dinner. Mom made lasagna. Dad asked about drills and coaches. Trevor answered, but his eyes didn't meet Dad's. He was lying. Or exaggerating. Nobody asked about my summer. Not once. August 15th, last day. Dr. Whitmore called me in. "We have the Pathways program, internships during school, pipeline to full-time. Interested?" "Yes." "I'll put your name in. You should hear back by November." That night at dinner. "Trevor starts varsity next week," Dad said. "Big year. Scouts will be paying attention." Mom. "Rosella, you should get a job. Help with bills, retail, waitressing." I set my fork down. "I have been working." "Where?" "Around." She didn't ask. She didn't care enough to. I checked my bank account that night. $7,200, more than they'd spent on Trevor's camp. Nobody knew. September. School started. Trevor made varsity, 3rd string. First game, Huntsville was up 35-7. Coach put Trevor in with 6 minutes left. Garbage time, 2 handoffs, 1 incomplete pass, underthrown by 5 yards. Game over. In the parking lot, Dad was on the phone. Yeah, Trevor had some great plays tonight. Really showed what he can do. I think there were scouts in the stands. None of that was true. At home, he called Grandpa Dale. Trevor had a great game. Brady got banged up, so Trevor stepped in and took command. Coaches are talking about starting him. All lies. Then his cell rang. Hello, yes, this is Mr. Crowder. About Trevor. Film? How much? 3,200? Okay, send me the info. He hung up. Mom, who was that? Recruiting service. They make highlight films. Send them to colleges. We should do it. This is Trevor's future. It wasn't a scout. It was a sales call. A company that buys lists of athletes and sells parents $3,000 videos. But they paid it because they needed to believe. Trevor looked at me that night. For a second, I saw guilt. Then he looked away. What I didn't know until months later, in July, he'd found my NASA badge in my backpack, looked at it, understood, put it back, zipped the bag, never said a word. He kept my secret. October 1st, email from Caltech. Your early decision application is under final review. Results December 15th. I screenshotted it, filed it in a folder called Recipes, November 10th, email from NASA. Congratulations, you have been selected for continuation in Pathways, spring semester, $20 per hour. I replied from a bathroom stall at school. Available, I accept. November 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern. I was in my room, door locked, laptop open, refreshed the Caltech portal, page loaded slow. Congratulations. Then more text. On behalf of the California Institute of Technology, I am delighted to offer you admission to the class of 2030. I scrolled. Financial aid. Need-based grant, $68,000 per year. Work study, $2,000. Student contribution, $1,200. Total over 4 years, $272,000 in aid. Debt-free, Caltech. I sat there in the dark, laptop glowing, and felt something crack open. I wanted to scream, to run downstairs, to say, see? I'm not the one who's not cut out for college. But I didn't. I closed the laptop, went to dinner. Dad was on the phone. Trevor's got a real shot. His highlight film is going to blow coaches away. $3,000, but it's an investment. $3,200 for a video no coach would watch. I ate spaghetti and thought about Pasadena. November 27th, Thanksgiving, 7 a.m. I helped Mom cook, peeled potatoes, made stuffing from scratch. Dad set up tables for 22. Grandma Eleanor's chair was empty, her photo on the table with white roses. Guests arrived: Aunt Linda, Uncle Joe, Emma, 16, Mrs. Henderson, retired guidance counselor, and Grandpa Dale, last through the door. He hugged me longer than usual. Your grandma left me something for you, he whispered. I'll give it to you after dinner. It's time. 2:30 p.m. Everyone at the table. Dad at the head, Trevor next to him, seat of honor. Me 3 seats down, between cousins. Dad said grace. Lord, we thank you for this food, for this family. We're especially grateful for Trevor's success and for the opportunities ahead. We ask that you guide him. Amen. Not a word about me. Then the phone rang. Landline. Loud. Mom checked caller ID. Unknown. 626 area code. California. Should I get it? It's Thanksgiving, Dad said. Let it go to voicemail. It rang again. Grandpa Dale. Maybe it's important. Mom answered. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Crowder. Pause. Her face changed. I'm sorry, who is this? Longer pause. Caltech? The room went dead quiet. She looked at me. You're trying to reach whom? My daughter? She covered the phone. Rosella, did you apply to Caltech? I stood up, walked over. I'll take it. This is Rosella Crowder. Hello, Rosella. Dr. Sarah Chen from Caltech Financial Aid. We've been trying to reach you. Did you receive our aid package notification? Yes, ma'am, I did. I wanted to confirm the need-based grant of $68,000 per year. Is this acceptable? Yes. We'd love to invite you and your family to campus December 8th for admitted students reception. Will you be able to attend? I'll be there. Congratulations. We're thrilled to have you as part of Caltech's class of 2030. I hung up. Set the phone down. Silence. Dad stood. What the hell just happened? I got into Caltech. You applied without telling us? I told you I wanted to. You burned my envelopes. Remember? Kitchen sink, May 16th. Mom, we said no. We said save the money for Trevor. I didn't need your money. I got a full ride, $68,000 a year, $272,000 total. Uncle Joe did the math out loud. $272,000? Gasps, Aunt Linda's hand to her mouth. Mrs. Henderson started crying. I knew it. I knew you could do it. Dad, when did you find out? November 20th, a week ago. And you didn't tell us? Would you have listened? Silence. Grandpa Dale stood, walked to me, hugged me, loud enough for people to hear. Eleanor would be so damn proud. Then louder. There's more, isn't there? I nodded. Tell them, he said. I've been working at NASA Marshall since June. Propulsion Systems Testing Lab, $18 an hour, 10 weeks. I earned $7,200. The table erupted. NASA? That's where you were all summer? 22 minutes from this house. Building 4500. Dr. James Whitmore was my supervisor. No one asked where I'd been. Mrs. Henderson. Rosella, honey, NASA internships are incredibly competitive. Hundreds of applicants per spot, and you got one, at 17. They invited me back, spring semester, $20 an hour, Pathways program. Grandpa Dale, tell them about your project. How did you know? I called Dr. Whitmore last week. He told me, said you're one of the most talented students he's ever worked with. Said your microthruster analysis was publishable, 12% efficiency improvement. Tears started. I pushed them back. Trevor stood, chair scraped. I'm sorry, he said, voice shaking. Dad. Sit down, Trevor. This isn't about you. Yes, it is, Trevor said louder. It's about what we did to her. You spent $10,000 on me, camps, videos, training, all of it. His voice cracked. I'm backup quarterback. 12 snaps all season, all garbage time. No scouts, no offers, not even community college, because I'm not good enough. I'm not D1. I'm barely varsity. Dad. Trevor. She did this on her own, Trevor said, looking at me. While you paid for my fake future, she got into Caltech. She worked at NASA. She earned money. And you? He broke. You told her she wasn't college material. You burned her applications and made me watch. He walked out. Then Grandpa's phone rang. He answered. Martin? Yes, right now. All of them are here. He hit speaker, set it next to Grandma's photo. Good afternoon. Martin Brooks, attorney for the estate of Eleanor Crowder. This concerns the trust Mrs. Crowder established before her death. Your mother set aside $150,000 to be split equally between her two grandchildren, $75,000 each. However, there were conditions. Each grandchild receives their share upon acceptance to an accredited 4-year university, not community college, a 4-year institution. Silence. As of November 20th, Rosella Crowder was accepted to the California Institute of Technology. Is this correct, Rosella? Yes, sir. Then Rosella qualifies for immediate distribution, $75,000. Funds will be transferred within 5 business days. Dad, what about Trevor? Has Trevor been formally accepted to an accredited 4-year university? Long silence. Dad, whispering, not yet. Then his share remains in trust until he qualifies. Mom, broken. Mother never told us. She specifically asked me not to, Martin said. She said, they'll try to interfere. They'll try to redirect the money to where they think it should go. Don't let them. Grandpa reached into his jacket, pulled out an envelope. My name in Grandma's handwriting. There's one more thing, Martin said. Mrs. Crowder left a sealed letter to be read when the first grandchild qualified. Grandpa opened it, hands shaking. Dale, if you're reading this, it means the kids are grown. I only have one thing to say. Rosella is the one. She's got Eleanor in her. Quiet, brilliant, built to last. I watched her for 17 years. I saw what you all missed. She doesn't need to be loud to be extraordinary. She doesn't need permission to be brilliant. The money is hers when she earns it. And she will. Don't let them waste her. Tell her I'm proud. Tell her she's named after me for a reason. Tell her the stars were always meant for her. Eleanor, 8 seconds of silence. Then Aunt Linda cried. Then Mrs. Henderson. Then Emma. Then Uncle Joe. Jesus Christ. Grandpa folded the letter, handed it to me. I read it. Rosella is the one. I realized I was named after her. Rosella. Eleanor. She gave me her name. She saw me before I saw myself. The tears came, first time since May. But these were relief. Grandpa hugged me. She knew. From the time you were born, she told me, that one's going to change the world, Dale. Don't you dare let them clip her wings. I went upstairs, packed a bag, laptop, clothes, Caltech packet, NASA badge, came down. Trevor sat on the bottom step. I'm sorry, he said. I saw your NASA badge in July. Knew what you were doing. Should have defended you. You kept my secret, I said. You protected me. I was protecting myself. Didn't want to be the one who wasn't special. You are special, Trevor. Just not the way they wanted. And that's okay. We hugged. First real hug since we were kids. I walked to the door. Grandpa was waiting. We walked past my parents. Didn't say anything. Didn't look back. At Grandpa's house, he showed me the spare room. Grandma's photos everywhere. Get some rest, he said. I lay down, looked at her smile, and finally breathed. December 3rd. I checked my bank account. $82,200, $7,200 from NASA, $75,000 from Grandma. Mom showed up at Grandpa's. We need to talk. We sat in the living room. What you did was wrong, she said. What did I do wrong? You went behind our backs. I built a future you told me I couldn't have. We were trying to protect you from disappointment. I didn't fail. I got into Caltech. I worked at NASA. I did everything right. You lied. No, you didn't ask. There's a difference. When you're ready to see me, the real me, not the version you decided I was, call me. Until then, I need space. She left crying. January. Trevor got into Calhoun Community College. No announcement, no dinner. He texted me. I got in somewhere. It's a start. I replied, That's great, Trevor. Really proud of you. We met for coffee. Talked 2 hours. He apologized. I told him it wasn't his job to fix them. He said he was trying to find his own way. I believed him. February 10th. Dad showed up. I was wrong about everything. Can you forgive me? Eventually, I said. But not today. I need you to earn it. The way I earned everything. Prove you see me. Not the version you wanted. The daughter who got into Caltech, who worked at NASA, who built a future you tried to burn. He flinched. I went inside. February 15th. Moving day. Grandpa drove me to the airport. Hugged me. You've got Eleanor in you. Quiet. Brilliant. Built to last. She'll be watching. So will I. I flew to California. 3 weeks later, I'm in my dorm at Caltech, room 237, Blacker House, looking at the San Gabriel Mountains, thinking about Grandma, about the letter, about the garden and the telescope and the way she said, You're named after me, so you've got to live up to it. My parents text sometimes. We're proud. We miss you. Can we visit? I reply briefly. Thank you. Maybe in a few months. I haven't forgiven them yet. Maybe someday. That's up to them. They spent 17 years investing in the wrong child, burning down the right one. And when the truth came out at Thanksgiving, in front of 22 witnesses, over the phone from Caltech and from beyond the grave, they had to watch everything they built collapse. I don't need their approval. I don't need their money. I don't need them to see me. Because I already built something they can't touch. And Grandma Eleanor saw it all along. She left me her name, her letter, her love, her money, proof I was never invisible. They just weren't looking. But I'm done waiting. I'm done being practical. I'm done making myself smaller. I'm Rosella Crowder, named after Eleanor. Quiet. Brilliant. Built to last. And the stars? They were always meant for me. If you've ever had to build your future in silence because your family couldn't see your worth, if you've ever been practical while someone else got called the future, drop a comment. Tell me what you're building. Tell me what they couldn't burn. Because you're not invisible. You never were. They just weren't looking. But I see you.